Another exciting moment on Govilix talk show. Today's discussion, we are driving at career woman. What it means to be a career woman and its impact on individual, family, and society. Now, joining me today is Dr. Ismail Fatai Olawale, who is going to throw more light on his subject, career woman. Dr. Ismail, welcome to the show, sir.
Good afternoon, the uncle, and thank you for having me.
We are so blessed to have you today, sir.
Thank you, God.
Sir, not to waste much of your time,
Yes.
let's begin. Can you tell us what you understand by a career? When you're talking about career.
Well, my own understanding of a career, it's more or less a progressive path, either of an employment
Okay.
or an entrepreneurial line, followed for a lifetime as a source of income, as a source of capacity building, as a source of contribution to the society, and as well as a source of inspiration. Is a life path that comes with multiple aspiration and purpose. So a career could be in any industry, but most especially it is employment or entrepreneurship.
Oh, thank you for your well revelation. But who can we classify as career woman?
Well, to start with, that title, that concept, to me, it's more or less a stereotyping concept. I don't want to believe there is I don't want to believe in that concept, career woman. As long as career is something that is relative and is applicable to both gender, it is only good when you want to describe somebody in a positive way that has moved from one level to another, attained a lot of training, and has been able to perform in one particular duty for a very long time successfully. It is moderate at that level to say this is a career woman. But when we begin to give other meaning to it, either religious or political or traditional, it becomes a kind of stereotyping to me. So what do I mean by that? It's like we have started separating who has a job to do as a woman and who has a job to do as a man. Or probably underlying that stereotype will be a career woman is probably somebody who neglects her first primary of duties, which in most cases is taking care of the comfort. There's a kind of underlying understanding. But I don't want to go to that. I believe much in that moderate concept of every human being pursuing source of living, going through some training, achieving some, developing and getting some certificates, and then becoming successful in the chosen path. Anything beyond that definition becomes something stereotyped.
Wow, thank you so much. But the question I want to ask you,
Yes.
has career life made modern woman too busy at home?
Well, if in our climb here, because of I cannot say tradition, I want to believe it's a kind of social concept that grew over the time. And in the modern time, we started looking at whoever is a successful woman, either in a job or an entrepreneur. The modern society in Nigeria wants to look at her as probably somebody who has neglected home front. But ever before this time, in the olden days, even when we don't have this education level, Western education, our mothers have successfully defended the type of career they chose. Many of them were wealthy business women. You can talk of Iyalo Dieba, the late Anikulapo Kuti's mother, and Madam Tinubu of blessed memory of Lagos, who were wealthy women. They were known and successful in their chosen trade, which is also a career. And there was no any stereotyping. They were regarded, even at a point in time, as women that are actually performing like men. But the modern society, in terms of the politics of place of employment and the concept of Western concept of women, we began to look at career women as people who are likely not to be totally responsible for the development of the home front, who are likely to manipulate the system to get what they want for them to become successful like men, who might likely not have capacity to perform very well as men in the chosen career or entrepreneurship. However, you remember Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, once said, there is no limitation to the capacity and what women can do. And that's an international inspiration to say that concept is not something that is generally acceptable. For you to say a career woman is probably negligence in a home duty. It is existing, but it is not generally acceptable. I just gave you a quote from Michelle Obama, and I want to say, a woman can do, there's no limitation to what women can do. So that now becomes intentionality. The intentionality is the society needs to begin to appreciate women, not as a compliment or a kind of addendum, but as intentional human beings that must be incorporated and accepted into the society. There is no concept of 50-50. I don't want to bring that into home front duty. I have never seen any law sacrosanct the fact that women should be relegated to home front duty. In those days, our fathers support our mothers. What do I mean by that? When it is harvest time, they know it is the women that will harvest. But in most cases, the women go to the farm to harvest cocoa and yam, and at the period of heavy harvest, our fathers didn't get support by engaging the laborers to bring home this harvest. It will not say because women are the ones that are supposed to bring them home. It will support them in one way or the other. So, the career women, it is not something that we, that we can actually establish. The argument will continue. It's a concept that is existing, but it continues to generate controversy and discussion in the type of world.
Thank you so much for that. But let's talking about raising of children.
Yes.
As society have a greater influence on children than the parent himself?
Well, that's a very critical question. You see, if you look at the contribution of the society and parent, children upbringing in this modern society, let's take, for instance, the child that has to go to school Monday to Friday. That's about 5 days out of the 7 days in the week. So, if you calculate the number of hours the children spend in school, it's almost minimum of 7, maximum of 8.
Some close by 4 from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
The parents also spend minimum of 7, maximum of 9 sometimes 11 hours.
Sure.
Now, within that 6 to 7 hours that the children spend at school, the school has the possibility of influencing the children's development based on the peculiarity of the environment, the structure of the institute, the philosophy of the owners of the school, and the administrative capacity of that school. And that's why you cannot run that argument across all schools to say the modern society, takes care of the upbringing of the children and the parent. You need to take into consideration a lot of, peculiarities. For instance, if you have a household that as soon as the children close around, let's say 2 o'clock or 2:30, the parent is there to pick them up, get them home, and then return to probably his own work or her own work or office, or even come back home straight to deal with the children. We can't compare the time and the involvement of such parent with a parent that either he or she likes it, she gets home or he gets home around 11 or 12 in the middle of the night based on the work structure. However, is an external driver and has gone to pick the children. The children are all alone within that closing hour at the time the parent arrives. So it's not something that we can throw that argument generally. We have to look at the peculiarity of environment, structure of home, philosophy of the head of the house, and as well as available resources. Otherwise, we'll just be generalizing a kind of concept that we are likely to see people puncture by trying to say, in my own house, there is no way society can have more control on the development of my children because this is how I help my house.
Okay, let's look it from the aspect of those people affected, like society have influence on their children.
Yes.
What is the long-term consequence for the next generation?
Well, you see, the long-term consequence of having children who are probably having more influence from the society.
Yes, sir.
And I want to ask, what type of influence, positive or negative? Because we can't condemn the society. To me, I don't want to condemn the society ab initio to say the society influences children negatively. No, that's why I said, remember, I said the environment and the structure determines. A child that lives in a well-coordinated environment, community that has respect for human value, community that are coordinated by rules and protocols, environments that are clean, environments that are well organized, that type of child is expected to be, not to be unruly, to grow up very intelligent, to grow up very, but however, there are instances even where children in a well-conducted environment will still behave. Don't forget, the environment has gone beyond physical now. There are social media environment, there is the internet environment, and there is what we call peer influence environment. That's the environment in the school. Within a school, a child has the opportunity of being part of a bad group or a good group. I think you are getting me.
I get you, sir.
It is a lot of complex analysis that, as I'm a strategic communication expert, and I deal with communication in terms of behavioral change and development of communication framework for developing society and then attending to society or social problem. So when it comes to that level, we don't just disaggregate, concept. We need to look at, segment and then come to terms with the realities. So to me, on this program, I will not want to condemn the society as, having the greater influence
On children.
especially bad influence of children. Don't forget, modern children are more critical now. They ask questions. They accrue a lot of intelligence and skills from different angles, from their parents, from their relatives, and more, again, from the social media, especially those who have access to it. And those who don't have access to it, they get report from their peers, probably on one occasion that they come on holiday in Tarapa, so on and so forth.
Oh, thank you. Financial in family.
Yes.
Does finance change power in respect within the family?
Well, these are critical concepts that we are trying to dissect here. And for a very long time, like I said, I'm of the school of thought that there is no absolute, or I don't belong to the school of absolutism. When I look at issues, I don't want to buy that absolute concept. There is nothing that is absolute in this life. There is always an exception. Otherwise, even in law, the rule, there is a normal law that says a law that does not have an exception is not a law. There must be an exception to everything. Even the law of gravity that says anything that goes up must come down.
Yes.
If you are in the water and you fill up a balloon, you are under the
Surely come up.
you drop the balloon, it will float.
Sure.
That's one of the exceptions of law of gravity. Something else has happened there. So finance should not necessarily shift power structure in a home. Finance should only be aimed to balance the power structure in a home to allow for the well development of the house, good running of the house, and to also improve emotional and financial intelligence of that household. Finance is an external thing. It doesn't control human being. It is human being that direct his or her emotion towards the utilization of money. And the more you are able to actually direct that concept of finance positively, the better.
But we have to look at it in different perspective.
Okay.
No. In some extent,
Yes.
woman can gain influence through his friend that what you are collecting is your salary is higher than your husband.
Yes.
And can get influence that why can't you just try to get someone else?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it is not the finance now. It is the social structure that is influencing this woman. It is not the money. I just read about the story of the woman in Nigeria. She left her job. She was actually with her salary was about 400,000 monthly. She worked with one of the Lebanese company. So she left that job because her husband moved to Abuja. Just recently, I think the thing happened 2 weeks ago or last month. She left that job, and in compensation, the Lebanese company gave her, after 2 months, not even 2 months, I think 2 weeks, gave her a 4Runner drive, I think Toyota 4Runner, as a gift, a parting gig. She's worked in that company for almost 15 or 20 years. The husband has a golf car. That's what they use. The husband told the woman to drop, should not accept that that's what gift. The woman insisted that now we're a family. We need more. We need a kind of bigger car. And this is this thing is not only me. This company gives this kind of gifts to virtually everybody. The husband insisted that she must drop it. The church intervened that the woman should drop the car. Now the question is, the woman refused. A marriage of 2 weeks, the man went for divorce. My question is, if you are in that position, what do you think is happening? Is this the financial status, or is this the status that I increase, or what?
No.
It has nothing to do with what you call pure love and understanding of marriage.
Can we say it depends on individual opinion?
That's exactly what I'm saying. What makes a marriage to stand and the power of the family to hold is not the material that comes in. It's not the status that change. It is the individuality. Don't forget, marriage, no matter how rich or poor the couples are, must come with must be intentional. Intentionality, drives determination. Stephen Covey once said that the greatest strength lies in differences, not in similarity. Husband and wife should not be similar. If they are, then that house is not going to grow critically. There must be a difference, and the greatest strength is in that difference, because everybody will know how to manage his or her difference, tolerate each other difference,
Know your level, know your position.
accept the weakness and strength of your partner, and accept whatever that is coming external to that marriage as one of the influencers, and they manage that influencer or influencers collectively with good intention.
Thank you for that. But I will start from the point of divorce rate.
Yes.
It's happening that divorce in Nigeria is increasing every day.
Yes.
Can we say CareerWoman, does it have anything to connected to the divorce rate?
Well, my brother, divorce is a concept that is relative. For any marriage to crash, and either in the long term or the shortest time that the marriage was consummated, depends on a lot of things. The intellectual capacity of the couple and the intention of each of the partner coming into that marriage. We have different reasons why we want to go into marriage. And if we don't understand this intention at the beginning, when the realities of marriage start coming, we become afraid, we are jittery, we begin to attend to emotion rather than to attend to realities that are threatening that marriage. It is not that what is happening in the marriage today were not happening in those days. But my own belief from my own research and experience is that those people in those days, they understand their intention of coming into marriage. Families are involved in this intention. 2, friends are involved in this intention. In fact, there's a very strong Yoruba adage that says, "Ti okoba moju ayaton, alarino ayera." There's always a maker, someone that matchmake in those days, the Yoruba tradition. This person goes along to intervene between the two people, introduce them, and facilitate their discourse over a period of time. And at that moment, once there's a good understanding, this person is one of the first person that has a good understanding who these couples are, because he was there with them at the beginning. He facilitated, the relationship. So these are the type of people who are likely to intervene at the initial stage when things are happening. So it is not, I don't want to believe it's a modern structure. It is lack of understanding of what is marriage itself. Why should a man go into marriage? Why should remove religion? Don't let us go religion. The religion prescribed that a man and a woman should do this. But what does the reality prescribe? You as a man, you are sitting down and somebody is saying it is time for you to get married. What do you understand as? Are you prepared for it?
Preparing for it in emotional balance.
Emotional intelligence, financial intelligence, spiritual intelligence, social intelligence, and so many other, categorical intelligences. A lot of people are prepared for marriage because they have the financial strength, and because they have the material strength, and because they have the space strength. Especially somebody has a house, he has a good job, but has that person grow emotionally? Does that person have emotional intelligence to manage the unexpected sparkle of a woman who is disappointed?
In fact, I want to chip something in.
Yes.
I watched a video.
Yeah.
The guy was proposed to you that I want to marry you.
Yeah.
And lady said, "What do you have?"
What do you have?
He said, "I have a house, 1 car, and I have 3 million at banners." He said, "Yes."
Those are material things.
That is the material things.
Yes.
So my question is, what is the difference between preparing for marriage and preparing for wedding?
You see, preparing for marriage is a kind of critical development of yourself first. Critical development of yourself before preparing for the wedding. What makes a man to commit suicide? Because he was rejected by a woman. That's lack of self-development. Rejection shouldn't lead to suicide. What makes a man to pour acid or attack a lady that jilted him? That's emotional immaturity. Because you have invested on somebody and that person walks away in your life, emotionally, if you are very strong, you don't need to attack. Because why? As you think of that attack, if you are emotionally strong and intelligent, your mind will be telling you that, yes, even this person has jilted you. But if you go with this action, you become a criminal. Society has law to take care of things like that. And don't forget, if you are caught, tried, and found guilty, that person will rot in jail while the lady you attacked, probably they still live alive. So emotional intelligence and personal development to understand life as life comes with obligations and duties. And that is why I keep on telling people that there is no, if you want to go into marriage, don't go into that marriage based on the concept of equality.
That we have equal
Hope
rights.
for equity.
Equity.
There's a difference between equality and equity. Equality means it's like a flat rate. Giving everybody, you have a household, you give everybody five naira to eat. A child of 10 years, a child of 15 years, a child of 25 years, a child of 30 years, as a father, five naira, or let's say 1,000 naira. That's equality.
Okay.
Equity is given to individual, each and every other person, what they require to survive. So in that case, a 30 years old is likely to survive on 5,000. A 2 years old is likely to survive on 1,000
Yes.
per day. A 10 years old is likely to survive on 2,000. That's equity. Because the requirement of the food and the energy or whatever that the 30 years old is engaged in, the 2 years old might not be engaging in it. So marriage is not about equality. And when you come to marriage with the understanding of 50-50, that is where you begin to have problem.
But let's look at marriage
Yes.
in this current Nigeria. Can a successful career
Yeah.
and a successful family coexist without sacrifice one for another?
That is why I said the strength of, according to Stephen Covey, the strength of society development lies in the differences, not in the similarities.
What applicable in Nigeria cannot applicable in another country.
Yes, to some extent. But the fact is that if we begin to disaggregate our time to say you must dedicate 50% to work, 50% to home, or 60% to work, 40% to home, it depends on the circumstance where you find yourself. For instance, if a woman or even a man is starting a career, let's say, for example, a lecturer or a medium manager in a bank, then he's expecting promotion in the next 1 year. He's not yet a chartered accountant. He needs to go for that chartered accountant examination, attend lecture, pay for it, sometimes probably come home late. And that period for him to get that promotion, he may be dedicating 60% of his life to work, while 40% for home. However, a woman that just gave birth, that needs to take care of the children, especially who wants to do an exclusive breastfeeding of 6 months without water, will dedicate 70% of her time to home. And that is why you have the leave, maternity leave and some other, so it is expected that society would begin to disaggregate these things and allow, people to react to these things. What I'm saying here is that the moment what you are involved in and the reality of the moment determines the percentage of time you dedicate to either work or home. It is not a sacrosanct thing to say, because I'm married now, so I must dedicate 70% of my life to home. What is going on at home may not necessarily require that. If I have opportunity, there's an opportunity for me to become the general manager. And at that moment, I need to attend late meetings. I need to be able to travel, at short notice. My partner should understand that period, I may likely not to be at home 70%. If she does it, that means she's allowing her emotional intelligence to override her intellectual capacity.
Thank you. But when we are talking about successful woman,
Yes.
in today's world, how does it look like when it comes about someone being successful?
Yeah.
In a woman be successful?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Well, a successful woman is not that different from a successful man, because the society has laid down the rules. There are work ethics, there are protocols, there are procedures. It depends on either you have a job or you are entrepreneur. If a woman is an entrepreneur, probably she's a supplier of goods. There are rules of the market that is applicable to everybody. If she fails to, understand these rules of the supply, no matter how the number of millions she brings to that business, it's likely to collapse. But if she takes her time, to understand the rule of the game. I am not talking of the disgusting, some, dirty rules. I'm talking of the ones that are clear to everybody. As a supplier in Nigeria, these are the rules. You start from there. These are the type of capital, the amount of capital you made. These are the logistics you need. In the next 2-3 years, you need to pump more money. You begin to get more money, or you need to invest lesser after 10 years. These are there clearly. So a man and a woman, either a man and a woman who wants to be successful, the rules are there. You will not say because I'm a woman, and then there are rules that for you to become a professor, you must publish 37 journals. You must have 37 publications, 70 of them journals. There must be international journals, 4 of them book chapters, conference papers. These rules are there. You cannot say because you are a woman, you should be exempted. No, if you take your time to pay attention to these rules and you follow them, you produce your paper at the right time and the recognized journals, when the time comes, you get your promotion.
But can a marriage be successful if the both partner are equally career drive?
Of course. That's what I'm saying. The marriage can be successful no matter the pattern of the career part of both of them.
If it can be successful, why are we having divorce rate?
Well, the divorce rate is not related only to career part. It's not only career that is influencing. I'm a career person. My wife is a career person. We've trained our children. I got married some 50 years ago, and as a career woman, my wife did exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. Just breast milk for my children.
For 6 months.
That's own capacity or decreasing the intelligence of the children. So I wonder if the career you are talking about influences even taking care of the home front right from the beginning when the child is born. I can see a lot of people on the street who are market sellers. In fact, they sell in front of their houses. They don't do exclusive breastfeeding. Let's start from there. Somebody that doesn't need to wake up by 7, get to office by 7:30 or 8, close by 4 or 5, does not have report to write. She wakes up at the time she wants. She has a shop in front of the house. Even probably she's not even paying shop rent. She will tell you a different concept. I can't do exclusive breastfeeding because I don't want my breast to fall after having 2 or 3 children. That's based on what I say, your intellectual capacity about what you know, what you want, where you are going to, what are the things that are impediment. Look at Nigerian athletes, the Nigerian female footballers. Do you think they don't know what they are doing? They have to wake up, they have to do exercise, they have to do a lot of things, and they still have hope to get married. I recently read about Asisa Tosuala trying to maybe step down a relationship because the guy was not giving her the support. She said, at this stage of my life, I think the relationship should stop. That's an intelligent woman. You can't say a woman stepped down a relationship because of her career and say she's a stupid woman. No, that's a priority. As a partner, you must be able to embrace the priority of the partner. Otherwise, we will have problem.
So from what you are saying now,
Yes.
divorce that happened in Nigeria, is it because of lack of knowledge?
Yes. Lack of understanding of what marriage itself.
Let me chip something in.
Yes.
I had a story whereby both husband and wife,
Yes.
they are working at Island, Lagos.
Yes.
They are living in mainland.
Yes.
So it happened one day they go through a lot of traffic and both get home at around 9 p.m.
Yes.
And husband say, where is the food?
Yes.
And the wife was like, where do you expect the food to come from?
Yes.
So instead of them to have issue,
Yes.
the man get out for them at Island, whereby from work to home,
Yes.
it's about 15 minutes. So the knowledge the man appeared then, some people may not.
From what you've just said, let's look at it. Should the absence of food on table disrupt the marriage?
It destroys a lot in Nigeria.
Now, that is to say that a lot of people don't understand the concept of food on table in a home. There was a time I worked with Etsy Salad. as a government relation officer. I stayed on Maryland and I work on Banana Island. If I wake up and have my prayer around 5:30, if I do any 5 minutes again, I will get late to Banana Island. Because Banana Island is on the other side of the Lagos Lagoon. My wife works with Lagos State Government, with Ministry of Information. She has to get to office 8 o'clock. That's maximum. So we both leave. But we wake up, what we'll do was that we wake up before that time. As soon as I'm doing my prayer, sometimes you will be taking a bath and I'll check the food on the gas, on the cooker. Oh, the food is this. Oh, can you help me dish it? Okay, where is your own? That's how it's supposed to be. We're talking about, okay, the question is the man you are talking in this question. What if he comes and the wife is sick? Will you not eat? You come home, you expected your wife to have put the food on the table, and she came back from work. She developed serious headache from work pressure. Will the man not eat?
Sure.
And there's no alternative of preparing the food at home.
In fact, you cannot
If
compare.
that day, that night, you might likely not even eat the best food that you have. Food is for us to survive and move on.
In fact, you cannot compare only this family to now. Only this, our mother does not work, just stay at home, cook, take care of children. Comparing to modern woman, whereby you go to work.
No, that's a wrong concept. Our mothers in those days were not just staying at home and taking care of the children. That's the wrong concept. I grew up with my great-grandmother.
Wow.
So I was nurtured by 2 old women. My great-great-grandmother has an orchard. She was a traditional birth attendant. Early in the morning, she wakes up to do her prayer. After that, she goes to inspect her orchard garden, attends to the herbs, and she also has a very small, pint where she takes care of ruminant animals like goat or whatever. And once in a while, she goes to visit her own portion of the farm. Even though she might not be working on the farm, she had laborer that work on that farm. So it is a wrong concept. And people have been peddling this concept for a very long time. I want to use the opportunity to correct that impression.
Okay, sir.
Our mothers in those days were not just sitting at home and taking care of children. They do a lot. They were the formidable number 1 security agent, especially when all the men have moved to farm. When you get to rural areas, you see what I'm talking about. Visit any rural community in those days, as soon as it is like 10 o'clock, virtually all the men have left the village. You will see only older people. So the strong young women are the front line, security personnel that attend to issues, and they are there to also raise alarm and take care of things that are likely to disrupt the home front before the man comes.
But there are some men in Nigeria where they don't allow their wife to work. They will just stay at home and take care of children. There are some men.
Well, I'm not disputing that. But the thing is that what makes a man to want his wife to stay at home without doing anything, to me, is a personal belief and a personal understanding. It's not a society, to me, it's not a societal concept that everybody must embrace. Sometimes it is influenced by religion. Sometimes it is influenced by group think. I belong to a group and we have certain things that, you are rich enough, why should my wife work? Sometimes it comes from personal conviction. Some people cannot trust a woman that is working.
Sure.
I've been away for some months now at my home. I don't have any problem to think otherwise about my wife. Because my own understanding that if she does it, then she's the one that is stupid. As long as I get married to you, I have my marriage the normal way. Fortunately, I'm not putting on my ring this evening. At that moment onward, I close my mind on whatever my partner is doing in my absence. Because that is not what I'm to worry about. But if it happens that she's not sincere and she's not trustworthy, and I get to know, then you take the next step that is necessary at that level, but you don't have to think of what has not happened. Every time your wife goes out, you think somebody is sleeping with her or she's engaged in what, then that kind of a mind may not last, may not even have good health, because that is too complex. That's my own personal understanding, but some people don't have that understanding. So they have the right, if the woman accepts. There are women that will walk out of that kind of marriage and say, I cannot live without working, even if it is trading. To me, if you look at that concept of my wife sitting at home, I don't want her to work, it's also a very dangerous thing. Perchance, I'm rich and every bend, perchance the man dies unexpectedly. This woman has not gotten any skill. This woman probably has no any education. This woman probably has no any entrepreneur, advancement or capacity. If you leave more than 100 million for her, there is likely that 100 million can vanish within. So, to me, I belong to the school of thought by saying you are only, that is one of what I call a kind of emotional embarrassment. When you just leave the woman at home unless if it is a choice coming from the woman. But to me, even as a husband, I would still want my wife to do something, even if it's coming from her. I'm rich, I have everything, I says I want to equip. Okay, fine.
But there are some women, they love to be called Odogu wife. What are you doing? That's my money.
That's what I'm saying, that sometimes it depends on the level of exposure, what you want in life. Some people believe that, some women believe that once they go into marriage, that the next thing is for them to just become passive, enjoy the marriage as it comes, and then they either directly, indirectly, innocently, or erroneously ascribe the duty of homekeeper to themselves. Sometimes it may be that the woman is lazy. And once you throw that concept, she accepts it because she's a lazy person. So doesn't really want to do anything after all.
But can we say, social media,
Yes.
it play major role in people's life?
Yes.
But
throughout the whole world.
Can we say social media will define what women see as success?
Well, it depends on the human being, the user. Social media is an interface space.
Sure.
You have a content, you interact with the content. The way I will interact with the content that says a state governor has budgeted 3 billion to give 3,000 couples wedding in the next 2 weeks now in that state from our brothers over there.
Yes.
Maybe 3 billion, maybe 36 billion, whatever the amount. To me, the way I will read that story will be different from the way the people or those people who believe in that kind of, support. We are not going to have the same ideology. Therefore, that content cannot influence me. I think you understand where I'm going to.
Yes.
There are a lot of communication theory. You have uses and gratification theory. That explains it very well. Everyone uses social media based on their emotional capacity, intelligence capacity, as well as, resources and availability of time.
But what about this subject is a time whereby it's happening in family?
Yes. Whereby
the man will say, what are the women bringing on the table? Is it right? Is it a thing that we are sharing that we should be 50-50 or?
Let me, you see, that question, that's concept. What is the woman bringing up on the table? Started as a very comic statement. It was promoted mostly by our Nigerian comedians.
Okay.
And they tried to use that concept. It was a comic thing, especially when they used the women body to actually support that comical narration, especially women with big boobs and so on and so forth. However, that concept is now, to me, I don't believe is a critical concept. What is a man also bringing to the table in a marriage? It is not only a woman that must bring something.
In my own definition, woman is a table.
No. You see, the space where we operate and exist is the table. We have permanent table in life and we have temporary table. This space we are occupying now is a temporary table for me. I'm here because I am granting this intern.
Yes.
As soon as I'm through, I leave this space. But this space, to some extent, is permanent to you.
Yes, sir.
So, but in the general concept of business, it's temporary to you because you want to go bigger than this.
Sure.
So once you look at that, if you look at that concept that this place is permanent, you might likely not go beyond this space. Or as a business concept, strategically you look at this space as temporary. Then the ability to go beyond this space is there. So to me, a woman is not the table in the marriage. The home is the table. Marriage itself is the pedestal where that table is standing on.
But what do you think it causes of people lost interest in marriage?
So many things. So many things. But in most cases, I believe that whatever prompted anybody going into marriage is likely to be one of the things that will create distaste. If you go into marriage because of the beauty of the man, the handsomeness of the man, or the beauty of the woman, after some time, if that beauty sags off, we're likely to lose interest. If it's the handsomeness of the guy, after some time, the handsomeness goes down.
But sir, why marriage?
Well, marriage, to me, I don't want to go religious. Marriage is an institution that was created by human being.
Not God.
Don't let us lie against it. We only use God's religion and God's perception to institutionalize and make it fundamental. You don't understand it.
I understand.
Marriage was created as an institution by man.
Not God.
Not God. And it was not created, I am not saying the creation, was bad. It was created as a solution to a problem. And what was that solution? Men were consummating like animal in the beginning. One man to many women. One woman
No
to
order.
many. So there was no order. So human society started growing, and some people sat down and said, let us not, behave like animals. And that concept came up and it started to grow. And I want to appreciate those who conceptualized that some many thousands of years ago. But then, what has happened to marriage is that the reality of time, century, has started affecting marriage as an institution. The realities of 1960s, 18th century, 17th century, they affected marriage of that time, and people who live at that time lived with those realities. They managed their marriages well. So we are managing our own marriages based on the realities of our time. And that does not mean marriage is bad. And that does not mean marriage can die. But it surely means it is not everybody that is going to enjoy marriage.
Well, what advice do you give to those people who have lost interest in marriage?
Well, for those who have lost interest in marriage, I will say they have two options.
Two options?
Yes, life is dynamic. They have two options. Number one, if they still want to go back to marriage, they should conceptualize why they went into the marriage in the first place. Face the reality, accept the reality, and then prepare better. Or they should just abandon marriage. That's the second option. If they cannot, life is about growing. We can't be the same in the next 10 years. As you are getting older, you must also grow intellectually. Otherwise, you might not be able to face the reality of the next 10 years. And so, my advice is people should make sure that they understand exactly what they want and why they are going into marriages. And if there is anything, and they should also understand and face the reality, there is no marriage that is sweet.
That is sweet.
Yes, no marriage that is sweet. Every marriage has its own sweetness and its own sour area. So ability to blend together these two, is what makes you a married man, a married woman.
Okay, thank you so much for your word, for knowledge, for sharing your point of view.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate that we give you invitation and you honor our invitation.
Thank you very much.
And we believe that next time we invite you, you will still honor our invitation.
I was pleased.
Thank you so much. Viewers,
Wonderlife.
he has shared his opinion and give us advice on marriage. That your marriage can still work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much, sir.